Hey, welcome. There's quite a bit of information going on today, so we better get started. As usual, it's always a Q&A session, so feel free to ask questions in the chat or join the Discord and put it in the Q&A. Hey Renee, hey Villa. But yeah, let's get started on the question today, which has come from Villa, and it's, can you add using multiply, blend modes, etc. So I've decided the whole thing is going to be on blend modes, which there's quite a few. So firstly, I'm going to explain how blend modes work with this diagram here. So blend modes, you get a top layer and a bottom layer. The top layer is the one you're gonna blend, and at the moment it's like stuck in normal mode or pass through, which is, as you can see on that middle bit, that is what you'll get. It's just one goes over the top of the other. So we then change the blend mode, and depending on which blend mode, you'll get a different blend output, which is, in this case, I use multiply, so it's got a little bit darker on the bear, but you can see sort of through the purple to the bear itself. So yeah, that's how blend modes work. I'll put a copy of this, in fact all of this, into the Discord when I'm done. So that gets us to what the blend modes are, and as you can see, there's quite a few of them. There's 29, I believe, or 30 or something. Quite a few. So I'm not gonna have time to focus on all of them today. But if you have any questions on each one, just ask, and I'll do my best to explain. So I've put them into different categories, and as you'll see, if I go up to where the blend modes are, which is in layers up here, and you click on where it says pass through, can you see they're actually in like different sections themselves? You've got like little black divider lines between each one, and that's basically what I've made big here. I'm just trying to find normal again now. There we go. So pass through doesn't always come up, but it's the same as like normal. So just so you know. So yeah, what you've got is the different sections are darken and lighten. There's numerous different ones that, hi Nikki, yeah, numerous different ones, but they all pretty much either darken, lighten. The next one is contrast, which I'll show you. That's a little bit different. And then compare, which I've got a good demo as well for. Color modes. So I don't know, say you wanted to change the color of a car or something. That's a good one to use. And then effects. So just cool things that you can also do. Not that usually anyone uses them. Then you've got two separate ones, which is normal, which is already put on, like as standard. And then you've got erase, which does something totally different to all the rest. It just completely erases. I'll show you now. I'll show you like as we get down the list. That's one of the ones I chose. So what I've done is I've literally taken like my favorite ones just to show you some of them, and then just now they basically do the same thing. And I'm just going to show you some more about how the blend mode would work. So, if you're going from dark, like a darkened mood, if you think of white as a 1 and 0 as totally black, then that scale, anything in that scale is from 0 to 1. So about middle would be 0.5, which is grey. And then the light ones, exactly opposite. They start from 0 to black down to 1, which is white. Now, I've got a little flower here, which I'll demo those. I'm just going on to it. Yeah, which one's that one? No. So this grey square, what we'll do is we'll put it into a darken blend mode. So in this case, I'll choose multiply. And at the moment, it's 0.5, which is grey, which is doing exactly what we want it to do as such. So it's darkening the colour. And I just want to show you what happens the closer you get to a full white and the closer you get to a full black. So if you go to a full white, nothing will happen. Because it's basically cancelling out the effect, if you like. But if you go the opposite way to full black, then you won't see any of the picture at all. But if you go anywhere in that scale between, you'll see it gives the effect of darkening the colour. Just like that. So that's multiply or a darken. Now I'm going to show you a light, and it's pretty much the same, just in reverse. So I'll go on that one, and I'll choose one of the light ones. So as you can see, it's a separate section, and we'll choose green for this one. And as you can see, because it was grey, it's now gone and lightened our picture. But if you go to full black this time, nothing happens. But if you go full white, you'll end up with a complete white square, nothing in the background. But if you go anywhere in between, you can see the effect of it getting lighter, just like that, which is what we want. So I hope that makes sense. But that's how the dark and light works. But there is another kind of mode that's in the middle of those, and it's called the contrast. So we're going to be using overlay, and as you can see, I've put on is multiply and screen. It's multiply and screen together. So if we go back to our black and white, so if you can imagine, the half is like grey, yeah. So it'll have no effect. So imagine that being the 0, and then each black and white is a 1. So that's where the full effect will come in. So what I'm going to do to show this is I'm going to add a pixel layer over the top of these and change that pixel layer to overlay. Now this is cool because you'll see now it does both. So if I put it into pixel mode, make sure we're on the right brush, somewhat soft like this one. If I ping it on it in grey, you'll see it hardly changes. Just seeing how big the brush is, but yeah, like doesn't change hardly anything. But if you make that full white now, still not doing anything. Where? Why is it not doing anything? Does it go beyond that one? No. What the hell? Why is it not doing? Make another pixel layer. Why is it not doing? Very strange. Funny in its weirdness. Oh, I know why. Alpha lock. So if that happens to you, check this little button at the top called alpha lock or protect alpha, depending on what program you're in. But if it's selected, you won't be able to draw on anything that isn't already drawn on. So now it's off, it'll draw just like so. So I'm just going to go back to our grey, which is about halfway between black and white. So about there. And you'll see, oh, I didn't put it into overlay. Let me change that to overlay. There we go. So now when I draw it, you'll see nothing really happens. And that's because we're at 0, basically. We're at no effect, which is the grey. So now we're going to go to the extremes. So we'll have white, pure white. I'll make it lighter, like this. And then pure black, we'll make it darker, like this. You can see that you can pretty much shade the whole object with just this mode. Obviously, you wouldn't use pure black and white. You'd use something that's a lot better than that. Something dark for like the multiply effect, and something light for the screen effect. So something dark would be something like purple. You've probably seen me use this before. So just make sure, yeah, see it's like doing it, but it's not doing it as much as black was doing it just a minute ago. So it actually looked 10 times better. And then for the screen effect, I actually use a yellow. I call this the purple and yellow technique. You've probably heard me say it before. But as you can see, it's not as bright as that white, but gives you that effect. Like so. So I hope that one was okay. I know we had trouble with alpha lock, and I'll show you why that was enabled later. Yeah, I'm just gonna come out of that one. And oh, this one's really fun. So difference. We're gonna play spot the difference. If anyone can write in the chat what the difference is before I show you, then that's awesome. The flower looks so much better with the effects. It will really like it's like putting curves onto it. Everything looks better. But the reason why it looks better is because your eyes are like a more subsection, if you like, to brighter colours. So that's why when you walk into a TV shop or something, all the TVs will be set to vivid mode, so it looks brighter and nicer to you, so you end up buying it. And that is the con. So if anyone wants to have a go at spotting the difference, otherwise I'll show you a really good way. Is the left side brighter? I don't think so. I think it's the same. Or I hope it's the same image, because this won't work otherwise. Yeah, it needs to be the exact same. Apart from that one difference. Looks weird, does it? Maybe it's just on the stream because it looks similar on mine. Not sure. Unless I've left it in the mode. Which one's which? Just gonna put it back to designer so I can tell. Now this one. So you're saying this one's darker and it's in normal mode. Both in normal mode. So it shouldn't be very strange. But this is a real good way to do these spot the differences. Looking for anything. Yeah. I'll show you the answer now. So this one over here on the right. Yeah, on the right. I'm gonna change into difference, which is one of, and this is why I said it'll look darker because it really does now. Like that. But with difference, what you can do is the image has got to be exactly the same. So we put them on top of each other, exactly in the same spot, and you'll see it goes pretty much black. Like most of it go black anyway. But if we zoom in, you'll see one bit is still colourful, and that's the bit where there's a difference in the pictures. So let me show you now. If I drag that back out, take off that blend mode because we don't need it. I just put it back to normal, wherever normal is. I always lose it. There we go, normal. So between that image and that image, you see there's nothing here, and over here there's a girl in a pink suit. Just to show you again, over here there's nothing, and over there's the girl in the pink. Very difficult to see, but yeah, that is what difference does. It points out what's different about that image in particular, so it's very handy for spot the difference and stuff. Not that it's meant for that, but it is very oh gosh, you can see it now. Good. Yeah, you can just about see it. It's like no pink on the right and pink on the left. But yeah, that is the difference. Very cool little trick. Especially if you're playing spot the difference. It'll tell you where all these differences are. Handy cheat. Yeah, exactly, Rennie. Very handy. I didn't show you that. Okay, moving on. So this one we're gonna go to hue, which is in the color section. Remember I said about there's different sort of like sections to all these. Win on the content. Yeah, exactly. They'll come hunting for me. I'm sure there's tons of people that know that trick. Or I hope there is. So hue. And what we're doing. Oh, Bobby. Hiya, Bobby. Does it work on Spot the Ball? I guess it does, because any difference in the pitch, if there's, I don't know how you spot the ball works, but if there's two images and one's different to the other, it'll tell you. It'll certainly tell you. That'd be ace. So you know what spot the ball is, because I've got no idea. Anyway, so I was saying about our next section. I'll just get back to our list. So we've gone through darken, through lighten, through contrast, and the compare, spot the difference. So now we're on color modes. So we're gonna go to something called the hue. Now like I said, there's many different ways of doing things in Affinity, but this one is pretty cool. I'll show you now. So we want to change the color of this card to something else. So I've already made up a pixel there with just a color. Looks a bit like I've done it in MS Paint, but it'll do for this demo. So what I'm going to do is change this now to the hue mode. If I can find it. Hue. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I did it on the, go back, just on this pixel layer. I want to change it to hue. There we go. So now, as you can see, it's changed the car to blue. And now you'll see why alpha lock was on earlier. So if we go to our pixel layer and we go to our pixel mode, when you put on alpha lock, like so, this one up here, you'll find that you can't draw on anything but the bits has already been drawn. So what's interesting with this is that you can only draw on that horrible blue bit that I did earlier. So let me get rid of that so we can see. So you can change this car now to anything. Let's go for a pink, bright pink. Yeah, that'll do. Put it on a different brush. Let's go with hard round. Yeah, that'll do. So when we draw on this car now, you'll see that it binks in quite nicely, just the bits that you want done. It's very cool. It's like a mask. Like I said, there's many different ways of doing things, but that one is pretty cool. So you could do that with any color. So I know I want an orange one. Oh, red. Okay. So yeah, just go over in red. Change it to red. Just cover over all this. And there we go. Now we've got a nice red car. And as you can see, that works really good, if you know what I mean. From the useless. Oh, that's kicked in. That's good. So that's my little subscribe and stuff. The socials will come up. There we go. And it should be followed by our new thing, which is, if it comes up, there we go. So I've made something called a TeePublic, and you can go there and buy little designs that I've made, so on t-shirts, stickers, hats, etc. So I'm just like filling that up. There's not many of them, but you have to block it in first. Just reading your question filler. So yeah, I'll just show you without the blip mode. So I'll just put it back to normal if I can find it. Like that. And as you can see, I've drawn over that car very roughly. Just the bits that we want to change. You can request designs. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know whether it's coming out good because it's tiny on my screen, but up the top above me where I'm talking, there's something called Throne, and it, like, you don't have to, but go into that website will now come up with my wish list. So instead of donations, because they're dangerous, it now just says, I know, you pay them the money, they send me an item in return, like I don't know, a cat wheel or something. Say that there's no money involved because that's dangerous, or has been more recent. So yeah, I've changed to that now. got rid of the tips, if you like. So I was just going to show you what happens with alpha when the blend mode isn't on. So what you'll see is that we can only draw on the actual bit that's already painted. But if we take off the alpha, we'll be able to paint anywhere. And that's what we don't want. So going back to just the alpha, as you can see, it will only paint on the bits that we want. Just like that. But yeah, you have to draw basically where you want it. You don't have to be perfect. You can be, as you've seen, very rough, and it'll still, when you put it into the blend mode, which I'll just put it back into, the hue, it will pick out just the car bits and change those. You can see that you missed a bit on this bumper, but never mind. Hopefully that showed you sort of how I'd go and do it. So the next one, I'll just get back to here. So the next one is effects. This doesn't get used very much, but can be cool for some of these abstract kind of like images, if you like, which I'll show you now. I got another demo for you. So we're going to use something called reflect this time. So as you can see, we got this guy in a street with loads of neon, and you can see that it's kind of set up so that it's blue around the edge and pink in the middle, but we want to emphasize that. So I'm just going to go to, I've already made a rectangle exactly the size of the picture, just like so, but I'm going to change that blend mode now to reflect, if I can find it. Reflect. It's one of these. There it is. Reflect. So as you can see now, it's really emphasized the fact of the blue and the pink, just like the picture was trying to do, but it's really emphasized it. So if you're going for that kind of effect, that's perfect, but it doesn't get used that often, or I don't use it that often, but that's what these mates do in various different ways. Sorry, my throat is really bad. So then it comes to erase. Now we got a nice picture of the Colosseum, and we got the word room, and we got a white block. Now what we want to do is take out the word room from the white block, and you'll see that is not very easy, which I'll show you now. So with this one, we go to erase, and what happens is you can see the background, if you like. So you can see this grey. That's not what we wanted. What we want is to see the Colosseum as such through the room. So even if I move that now, I'll just go back into Designer. If I move it onto the white, you can still see that it's gone right through the white, right through the picture, and it's just picking up the background, which is grey. But we don't want it to do that. So what can we do? If I select the two, so the text and the rectangle, and group them, you'll see that it ignores anything that's not in that group. So that image behind and the background, etc., it's not even there. So now it's just erasing the rectangle, which is what we wanted. So if I go to it now, you'll see that you can see everything behind it, and that is the effect we are going for. Just like that. Absolutely brilliant. So that was actually not too bad. Like I said, there's many others. If anyone wants me to show anything in particular, there's quite a few of them. So I've chosen one from each section, basically. So a darkened one, a lightened one, a contrasty one, compare, spot the difference one, a color mode, and effects, and then one of the what we call special modes, I guess, like erase and normal, which is what you would normally have. Just waiting for any comments. If not, we'll go on to the next question. You don't see a wish list. And you find that link at the top. Might have to look back into that. I haven't added much to it. Any like I say, like a cat wheel and some artist gloves, that kind of thing. Not like a massive list yet. Haven't had time. I just wanted to change it from tips for now. But it should be there. That's very weird. Anyways, so if there's nothing about blood maids anymore, or you want me to go back through anyone in particular, then we'll just go on to question 2, which is from Villa as well. Now, how about more on mock-ups? Where to get pre-made ones, how to use it in different softwares, etc. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to leave that to its own life, because that is a massive subject. And then I'll move on to your next bit, which is I still can't figure out the line adjustment tool, the newer one that changes thickness. So she's on about this one up here, and I've got a demo to show you. So this cat looks really terrible because the line weight is all the same. So we're gonna fix this with that tool, and that's how I'm gonna show you. So as you can see, all the cat is just lines. We'll start with the first one. Now we're on that tool already, but if not, just select that tool, and then you can move the line weight as you want. And what we want is for it to get thinner at the top on both sides, but thicker at the bottom, right there. So you can see it goes to thin at the top and to thick at the bottom. And we can just add other nodes, change if you wanted to whatever you want. You could do this before that tool, but you'd have to sort of guess by doing this as to where it was. Whereas with that tool, you can just the line that's already been drawn. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So it has to be drawn, and it has to be a line. So don't convert it to curves or anything. Just make sure it's still the line. So when you go to the node tool, you'll see the nodes just like that. So it's still a stroke. So I'll delete that one because I didn't mean to make that one. And as you can see, you could do it this way if you wanted. And that's what we used to have to do before this tool came along. So I'm just going to go to the next line. Now these ears, just put it back on our width tool. We want the very ends to come in like this. And then this very top bit to come in as well, which didn't happen like that. But we want these ones up here to be bigger, like so. You gotta do that all the way around on each side. And the drawing will suddenly start making sense, like so. Let's go into the next line. This one, we want it to be thin down the bottom and thicker at the top. Same with this one probably, yeah. Just like that. So that's how you use it. I don't know whether you want me to carry on doing the cat or whether that's good. Are you selecting nodes? No, well, kind of, yeah, I guess, in a way. I'll show you what I mean. So let's see the nodes. Now, if you go to the node tool, you can see that there's nodes just like there. Zoom in so you can see it. So you click the node to widen the line. Yeah, I'll show you now. So those are nodes, yeah. If I make them blue, you can see they're all nodes. But we don't need to have them selected or anything. So if we go to the widen tool now, can you see? No matter if I zoom in, it's like still see. But that's where the nodes are, yeah. So if I wanted to adjust this part of the line, I could click on that where that node would have been and adjust that bit of the line. If I want to adjust this one, I click there and adjust this part of the line. This part. But you can also add your own ones. So if you wanted to add a node there, you can add a line width node just here. Not that you would, but I'm just saying. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, you click sort of where a node would be, and then you use. In fact, it's hard showing you on a circle. I'll show you on this. So on this line, let's choose the very end node. You can then drag in and out the handles to show how big or how wide you want the stroke. So we want this end to be very thin, and this end, which is already selected, you can see the handle's already there. And difficult. Let me go back on that. So you do have to present it. I'm guessing red means not selected. I don't know. What is that doing? Weird. That's not doing it. Very strange. Oh, you gotta drag out from the red bit. That's a bit weird. Never noticed. So let me try that again. Put it out here. Go to the line width tool. And you go from the red dot in and out. That's what it is. Aha. Learning new things. So if I wanted to adjust this one, press on the dot and then drag out from there. Makes these sense now. Can't believe I never noticed. Crazy. So these eyes go from. Can you see when it's connected? It affects it differently than just a straight line. You want the outside to be thick, but the inside to be thin. So to the other eye. Make the outside thick, the inside thin. That one worked better than this one. Try this one again. And that works. Yeah, just like that. The eyelash is already done, but I'll quickly redo them. So, starting with this one, you want it thick at one end and then thin at the other end. Just like that. And choose the next one. Remember, it's press on the dot, then widen it. Press on the dot, widen it to where you want. Something I've learned today. Very cool. The stroke width tool. Yeah, they added it quite recently, so that's probably why. Like we haven't used it, etc. Like I say, you could do all this from stroke tool just by doing this with the string thing, but when you want to adjust something in particular to exactly the right spot, like say you wanted this bit to be fatter than bit or thinner or something, it's very hard to do that from here. Whereas you could just use this line tool and get it exactly where you want it. But add in a node on here, we'll add it over here in the box, and vice versa. If you add it here, add one there. Just do these now. Pressure wire is annoying. Yeah, this I think that's why I've done it, because you're always sort of guessing where it's gonna be with this pressure. Unless you're a really good artist. Some people can just draw that. The Apple Pencil is designed so it can do that, like thin to thick to thin. Some people can just do it. I can. That's something that I'm not good at. Can't control it that much. But that is an easy way of doing both. Do that. Do that one down there. We actually want thick in the middle and thin at the ends. Just gonna go to node tool and just move it a little bit, like so. And go back to the width tool now and make it thinner and thinner at the ends. Yeah, perfect. You could carry on. Do you want me to carry on? You can't figure it. It is pretty annoying. I've got everything basically turned off because I'm always touching things and can't deal with it. So I just turned everything off and do everything manually. But it has got loads of little clever things that you could do. I'll just show you on Pixel Persona. Close the cap back up. just add a pixel and change it to pixel made. Make sure we're not on alpha link. But yeah, if you oh no, it's massive. Let me change the brush size. You start off small. No, how'd you do it? I do this so irregularly. Or is it on vector? Is it on the vector pen tool? Get rid of that pixel there. And then we can just draw normally. No, it's not on there either. I've got all mine turned off. But you basically meant to, when you press down on it, it gets thicker. When you loosen it out, it gets smaller, etc. But like I said, I've got everything turned off because I hate it. I can't get used to it at all. So I think that's it. That's all the questions that I had today. So I'll just open it back up for Q&A. And just take it off there. There we go. So now you can just see the whole screen. And if you got any questions, put them in the chat. And you've obviously got the Q&A section of Discord. I'll answer, etc. there. Or it might show up in the live like has done here. So yeah. If there isn't anything else, then I'll call it a night. So thank you very much for coming. And I will see you in the next one.